Have you ever stood at the edge of the ocean at night? You see the waves, chaotic, crashing, unpredictable. That's what modern relationships can feel like. We're taught to navigate the waves, to swim harder, to chase the retreating water, to brace for the next crash. It's exhausting, and it never lets you truly breathe. But what if the secret isn't in fighting the waves? What if it's in discovering a different element entirely? Not the tumultuous water, but the deep, silent, unwavering pressure of the ocean floor. That which exists beneath the drama, unmoved by the storms on the surface, and from which all true stability grows. This isn't about learning new swimming strokes. This is about learning to be the seafloor. It's about a shift from reactivity to gravity, from seeking warmth in another's fleeting sun to generating your own inner geothermal heat. For generations, the conversation has been about what to do. Today, we begin a different conversation about what to become within yourself, so that what you attract is not a reflection of your need, but a resonance with your wholeness. Let's call this the path of gravitational connection. It's the understanding that trying to pull things toward you often pushes them away. But cultivating a certain quality of being creates a natural, gentle, and irresistible pull. It's the difference between a magnet frantically waving at metal and the silent, inherent force field of the magnet at rest. This journey is built on 9 cornerstones, not rules to follow, but realities to embody. They are the architecture of a presence that doesn't ask for a seat at the table, but naturally becomes the anchor point around which the table is set. Cornerstone 1. The economy of light. Imagine your attention, your praise, your genuine interest as a form of rare currency. Not money, but something more precious, light. Most people, operating from a place of generosity or hope, turn their light into a public utility, bright, constant, available to all, dimming its value to the point of being unnoticed. The one who receives constant light stops seeing it. They simply expect it. The conscious individual understands that light is most powerful when it is directional, focused, and earned. It becomes a beacon, not a street lamp. This is the economy of light. It means your full, engaged, admiring attention is a sovereign gift you choose to bestow, not an automatic response you are triggered to give. When someone shares an achievement born of true effort and character, your light illuminates it fully. The dedication behind that speaks volumes. When someone offers a bid for empty validation, your light doesn't flicker toward it. It remains steady on the horizon of your own calm. You are not being withholding. You are being intentional. You teach people how to earn your light by only giving it for things that truly shine in your value system. This immediately separates you from the noise. Your approval becomes a compass point, not a participation trophy. This path requires seeing your own energy as sacred. If that idea resonates, consider subscribing. We're building a community here that values depth over drama, and your presence enriches it. Cornerstone 2. The poetry of the unsaid. In an age of constant broadcasting, we have forgotten the art of the ellipsis, the power of the pause. We believe intimacy is built on total transparency, an immediate data dump of our day, our thoughts, our histories. But true mystery, the kind that fuels fascination, isn't about hiding. It's about curating. It's understanding that a story told all at once is a Wikipedia entry. A story revealed through layers, through glances, through well-placed silence, is an epic poem. This is the poetry of the unsaid. It's the conscious choice to leave elegant spaces in the conversation for imagination to wander. When asked about your weekend, instead of a bullet point list, you might offer a single, rich detail. I discovered the most peaceful little corner of the city. It sparked a wonderful idea for me. Then, you smoothly turn the conversation. You have not been secretive. You have been evocative. You have planted a seed. The human mind is a relentless gardener. It will water that seed, wonder about it, and return to it. Your life becomes a fascinating book they are eager to keep reading, not a pamphlet they skimmed in one sitting. This also protects your inner world, giving you time to fully inhabit your experiences before offering them for consumption. You share from a place of integration, not just reaction. Cornerstone 3. The art of echolocation. In the deepest caves and the darkest oceans, certain creatures navigate not by frantic searching, but by sending out a signal and listening deeply for the return echo. They map their world through resonant feedback. This is a profound metaphor for emotional connection. Most of us, when faced with another's pain, frustration, or silence, either bombard them with questions or flood the space with our own noise, advice, reassurance, stories. We are sending out our own signal, hoping it hits the target. The conscious connector practices echolocation. You become still. You listen not just to the words, but to the music beneath them, the tempo of their breath, the timbre of their sigh, the architecture of their pause. Then, you send back a clean, clear echo of the signal you received. Not a paraphrase, but a reflection of the emotional substrate. You might say, softly, "There's a weight to your quiet right now," or, "I hear a real sense of principled frustration in that." You are not fixing, diagnosing, or agreeing. You are echoing. You are saying, "I am here, precisely in the emotional space you occupy. I perceive its dimensions." This act of accurate emotional echolocation is one of the most profound validations a human can experience. It makes a person feel located in the vastness of their own feeling and less alone. It builds bridges of understanding without you ever having to leave your own shore. Has there been a moment when someone truly echolocated you? How did it feel? Share your experience in the comments. These stories teach us all. Cornerstone 4. The integrity gap. Every person operates with two sets of blueprints. The one they profess, their stated values, ideals, promises, and the one revealed by their actions, their priorities, their compromises, their unspoken rules. The space between these two blueprints is the integrity gap. Most relational suffering occurs when we see this gap in another but choose to paper over it with our hopes, our excuses, or our fear of conflict. We become complicit in the disconnect. The conscious individual does not ignore the integrity gap. They become a gentle, unwavering surveyor. When a clear contradiction arises, when the words, "I value honesty," live alongside evasive behavior, when "your time is important to me" coexists with chronic lateness, you do not attack. You calmly, neutrally, point to the gap. You might say, "I notice you mentioned X was a core principle, and yet this situation seemed to involve Y. Help me understand how those fit together for you." Then, you hold a space of quiet observation. This is not an accusation. It is an invitation to accountability. It is the ultimate sign of respect. You are treating them as a capable, integrated adult who can align their internal compass. By not accepting the disconnect, you force a choice. Either they begin the work of closing their own integrity gap, which builds immense self-respect and character, or they reveal that their professed blueprint was merely decoration. Either way, you receive critical information. You establish that your relational space is one of coherent reality, not convenient fiction. Cornerstone 5. The sanctuary and the summit. Within every dynamic connection, there are two sacred roles, and the conscious individual learns to move fluidly between them. The first is the sanctuary, the space of unconditional acceptance, the harbor in the storm, the place where a person can shed their armor and be weary, vulnerable, or defeated without judgment. This is offered not from pity, but from profound compassion, the recognition of shared human fragility. The second is the summit, the vision of potential, the gentle nudge toward the horizon, the belief that calls forth strength, courage, and growth. This is offered not from criticism, but from unwavering faith in their capacity. The magic lies in the timing. You offer the sanctuary when they are in the valley. You become a place of rest, simply saying, "I see your struggle. You are safe here." You offer the summit when they are on the plateau. You become a beacon, asking, "I see your strength. What does the next peak look like for you?" Most people get this backwards, offering criticism in the valley, making it deeper, and smothering solace on the plateau, encouraging stagnation. Mastering this fluid dance means you are neither a doormat nor a drill sergeant. You are a sacred witness and a worthy guide. You become the person they trust with their weakness because you never exploit it, and they strive to meet your vision because they know it's rooted in genuine respect. If the idea of being both a sanctuary and a summit speaks to you, give this video a like. It lets me know this depth of content is what you're here for. Cornerstone 6. The sovereignty of space. Observe how a person moves through the world when they believe they are inherently worthy of occupying space. There is a quiet physics to it. Their posture is not arrogant, but rooted. Their gaze is not demanding, but present. They don't apologize for existing. They simply, gracefully, do exist. They treat the server, the CEO, and the stranger with the same baseline of respectful acknowledgement, because their self-worth is not derived from hierarchy, but from an internal sovereignty. This is magnetic. This sovereignty of space is not about dominating a room. It's about fully inhabiting your own energy field with such calm assurance that it subtly reorganizes the space around you. You enter environments not to extract validation, but to contribute your unique frequency. When you have this, people feel it. They feel steadied by your calm, intrigued by your quiet confidence. A partner doesn't feel they are showing you off, but feels proud to be aligned with someone whose very presence communicates self-respect. They think, to be connected to a person who carries herself this way says something about who I am and who I aspire to be. You become a living standard. Cornerstone 7. The language of inspired momentum. A common frustration is feeling like the sole architect and laborer for the relationship's momentum, always planning, prompting, reminding. This often leads to the dynamic of the manager and the passive employee, which drains romance and breeds resentment. The conscious connector shifts from managing to inspiring. This is the language of inspired momentum. You cease issuing directives or making demands. Instead, you live with visible passion and curiosity. You speak about your projects, your wonderings, your discoveries with authentic spark. You become a living invitation to an interesting life. Then, you voice desires as open-ended inspirations. Instead of "we never go anywhere," you might muse, "I was just imagining how amazing it would feel to watch the sunrise from that mountain trail," or "the food and stories from that region have always fascinated me." You plant the seed of an inspired idea, and then you step back. You create a vacuum of action that their own desire must fill. When a person is captivated by your energy, they will feel a natural, internal drive to be the one to translate your inspiration into a shared reality. They want to be the hero of that story. The action becomes theirs, born of their initiative to connect with your world. This transforms obligation into opportunity. Cornerstone 8. The principle of inner agriculture. You cannot attract a harvest from soil you have not tended. Too often, we focus on the target of our affection, studying them, trying to please them, wondering about them, while leaving our own inner landscape barren, weedy, and neglected. We then wonder why only scarcity grows. The principle of inner agriculture states that all sustainable external connection is an overflow of internal cultivation. This is the non-negotiable work. It is the daily tilling of your own mind through learning and reflection. It is the planting of your own seeds of purpose, passion, and health. It is the patient watering of your own growth with self-compassion and discipline. It is the weeding out of toxic thoughts, limiting beliefs, and old resentments. You must become a diligent farmer of your own soul. When you do this, you stop looking for a relationship. You become a lush, abundant, fertile ecosystem. People are naturally drawn to abundance, to the warmth, the fragrance, the vitality of a well-tended life. You have fruit to share, shade to offer, and strong roots that allow you to stand firm. Your very being becomes an invitation. You are no longer a hunter. You are a fertile valley, and the right people will naturally find their way to your streams. This journey of inner agriculture is a lifelong practice. If you're committed to tending your own soil, hit subscribe. Together, we'll explore the tools for cultivation, mindset, boundaries, and purpose. Cornerstone 9. The gravity of completion. This is the alpha and the omega, the foundation upon which all other cornerstones rest, the gravity of completion. This is the understanding that you are not a half circle seeking another half to form a whole. You are a complete, orbiting planet, with your own atmosphere, gravity, spin, and seasons. A healthy relationship is not the creation of a single celestial body from two broken pieces. It is the beautiful, complex, dynamic dance of two whole planets in a shared solar system, each enhancing the other's orbit. When you operate from completion, everything changes. Your need for validation transforms into a capacity for appreciation. Your fear of abandonment dissolves into a trust in your own capacity to be your home. Your interactions cease to be audits. Does he like me? Am I enough? And become explorations. Is our resonance enriching? Does this connection inspire growth? You choose people from a place of clarity, not lack. You can walk away from what diminishes you not as a shattered victim, but as a sovereign being protecting your own atmosphere. This gravity of completion is your ultimate power. It is quiet, immense, and irresistible. It doesn't shout, it pulls. It attracts not those who want to complete you, but those who are delighted to orbit a star that shines with its own fierce, unwavering light. This is the path of gravitational connection. It is not a map for capturing love, but a guide for becoming the kind of person around whom love naturally coalesces. It begins and ends with you, not with what you do to be chosen, but with who you become because you have chosen yourself first. The journey inward is the only journey that ultimately transforms everything outward. If this vision of wholeness and gravitational connection resonates with you, please share this with one person who needs to hear it. And let me know in the comments which cornerstone feels most like your next step. Your voice is a vital part of this conversation. Thank you for being here.